FictionSphere.
It should be better now.
You set the stream again?
Yeah.
Still says offline.
I just streamed or turned on the stream right now.
Oh, the fucking advertisement. Why do I have to watch this shit? Oh, god dang it. The advertisement, it's real. Hey, no frame drops apparently, according to Icy Tower.
Alright, perfect.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, like I remember we did ZXG a while ago, and it worked out fine during then. I know it's probably still a little bit weird. Alright, so is it better now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, definitely.
Alright, perfect. Alright, so
Oh, by the way, you guys just noticed the little charge shot, the new charge shot.
yes, this new charge shot is actually it acts as a bounce shot. So what it is that it'll bounce between it'll bounce between two targets if there's just two targets in here, but it maximum up to 3. But obviously, you know, it does less damage once you bounce it between multiple targets.
And you just saw like the good uses of the grab.
Yes.
I think
You can. So yeah, alright, so now that it's actually not lagging, I can explain it a little bit better. So yeah, the whole thing with the new abilities, again, it's really, a lot of people really don't understand is that the top left corner is pretty much, just think of it as an auto combo, because you know, that's literally what it is that if you just press like one button, you do just a chain of abilities in a row. So like in fighting games, like, you know, again, like FictionSphere with that, like the concept of it really came from combos. And you know, like I'm a huge fighting game fan myself, and you know, I at first, I know some of you guys have followed us since, like, you know, way before, like since ZXG days, and you know, you probably first saw when FictionSphere was actually first conceived, and back then I actually wanted to use, like, you know, down forward and like punch, and like, you know, you do an ability, but I felt like that was gonna be kind of too hard, you know. And a lot from what I'm hearing, a lot of people are saying that FictionSphere is already hard as it is. You know, and I think it just takes some practice, for sure. But yeah, you know, like with the abilities, like, you know, you really gotta just know like what each and every single one does. Like, you know, like this one's my favorite one, is the dive kick, because, you know, just because of how awesome it is. Like, you know, you can bounce off of enemies. They like, and
Master's asking, what's your favorite game?
what's my favorite game? What's my favorite fighting game? Oh god, that's a very hard one. But if I actually have to say which one was my favorite one, it's probably Street Fighter Alpha, and actually Street Fighter Alpha 2.
No, wait. Yeah, I was about to say, yes,
Alpha 2,
which one?
specifically Alpha 2. Like, like, you know, the whole thing with the EX moves, like, I know, like, some of you probably don't even know what the EX moves is. But so what it is that you have 2 Buster Charges, alright? So your first one will always do, like, you know, it's like in Mega Man, where, you know, you hold down the charge button and you release and let it go, and that will basically just do, like, you know, your first charge shot. And you know, if you look in the pause menu, actually you have a lot of stuff that you can really customize around. And you know, like one of the things about the last charge, you know, right now I'm not even holding down the Buster button or my Buster attack. So what it is that it's like, you know, I'm pretty sure everyone here, you know, since you followed ZXG, has played ZX, and you know, like with Model X, you hold down your Buster and you can keep the charge. So it's what I call a stock charge. And you know, with this, Street Fighter Alpha 2 actually,
nice effect.
Yeah, Street Fighter Alpha 2 actually inspired it because, like, just the trail itself. You know, like I try to perfectly emulate just how, like, the Street Fighter Alpha trail works, and it's a series of after image, but the thing is that they're delayed. You know, like they move at like you know, maybe a couple of frames before the actual character, you know, is finished, or after the character is finished attacking, you know, it'll still be like, you know, in the previous frame. You know, with this, with the EX moves, you know, or just in general for the system, I really like the fact that Alpha 2, like why it was so fun to me was that you can actually do your own custom combos. And, you know, if any of you out there are actually Alpha 2 players, you know, like you would know just how broken some of these custom combos can work. Like, you know, like, you know, Rose is top tier in the game, you know, but like she pretty much has a super that's a custom combo. And it melts any, I don't care who you are, like, you'll melt like cheese. Like, that's what it is. You'll melt like cheese. No matter what character you play, you're gonna melt like cheese. And, you know, like, that's what I found really fun. And that's why, like, you know, with Street Fighter Alpha, like, it really inspired me to, like, make the combo system. And a lot of anime fighter games, they utilize the same type of thing, where, you know, like, they have one button to do the auto combos. You know, but what it is that I don't know if you guys ever play like the recent anime fighter Under Night and Birth. You know, like they do it really well done. You know, like they give you one auto combo, and when you do the auto combo, you actually do less damage. You know, and thankfully I haven't implemented that yet, but you know, that's an idea in the near future. But with the auto combos itself, like, you know, you actually have to like stop and sit and think and be like, hey, this isn't doing enough damage to my opponent, so I gotta sit here and get really flashy. And you know, I was a heavy Melty Blood player. I don't know if you guys even know what that fighting game is, but with Melty Blood, you know, it works. It didn't have any auto combos, but the thing is that you really had to optimize your damage. And you know, aside from the fact that there's this one dude, I forgot what his name is. He was from Tsukihime as well. He just has insane reach. So like, you know, he's a very dangerous character, and he summons like deer and, you know, familiars that he fights with. Anyways, enough fighting game history. With the EX moves, back to what I was saying before I got sidetracked. With the EX moves, they actually do a lot more damage than the normal abilities. Like, you know, like with normal abilities, you'll see like, you know, you just do one hit. Usually with the EX moves, you know, they actually do more damage. I think it's a bug that the trail's not coming out, actually. That's something I'm still actually working on. Again, this is a debug build, so there's bound to be some problems with that. But as you can see, it's like, you know, it does really relatively a lot more damage. And with a dive kick, I'm pretty sure nobody has used this, or if they... I think, like, when I went to the Philadelphia convention, when I saw people playing, the only time they ever used a dive kick was when they actually swapped the skills by accident. And, you know, you can actually swap your skill set. You know, in the pause menu, you'll see that you have two different skill sets. So, like, the first set is, you know, just, well, both of them you can customize, and you can swap out at any time. It's just when you swap, you'll see, like, there's a little cooldown on top left. That means you can't switch yet. You know, that's just really to avoid spam. But yeah, you know, like with the dive kick, why I say it's one of my favorite ones is because it also has OTG properties as well, and not to mention it's very strong when you're just using it like that. You know, just, you know, like you could combo in so many ways with that. Let me just, I'm pretty sure I showed you guys the new abilities with that. Now these are some things that, like, you know, you really have to get fancy with. Like, you know, when I'm designing like the abilities in general, I don't want it to be like super easy where, you know, you could just link stuff to 1, 2, 3. You know, like you actually you know, when you're thinking about like what abilities to put, you want to usually think about, like, you know, what has the most fundamental reach, you know, damage, and, you know, how well it can act in most situations. And that's why I gave you guys a second slot, is because, like, you know, in case it doesn't fit your need during that specific area, or, like, you know, that specific battle, you know, you're able to just switch out and be like, all right, you know, I got my backup, you know, no problems. But with that, you know, like, you know, right now, the reason why I set the new abilities the way it is right now is because, you know, before you were seeing that some of them don't link. Like, you know, like the dash punch itself, it'll link into, like, you know, the ground pound, but it won't link into the last ability, which is the grab. Now with the grab itself, it's more like a close range thing. You know, again, I base a lot of these moves off of like, you know, fighting games or like hack and slash type games. But you know, that's where like you gotta really get fancy and like, you know, toggle your abilities. You know, that was the last abilities, or last ability, which is actually, I base it off of Kuma's demon flip grab.
Yeah, the pause screen is it's very experimental. We have a lot of plans for the actual in-game pause screen.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm not like reading the chat right now, but with the pause screen itself, it's gonna change. Everything that you see right now is really gonna be subject to change. Like, there's nothing is gonna, most definitely nothing is gonna stay as you see right now. You know, we're gonna definitely swap out.
It's the system we currently have with the 3 skills and all of that. That's gonna stay.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. That's for sure gonna stay. Like, that's just like the basis of the game,
core
and
mechanics are staying. The thing that we're still gonna change, like, perhaps is the pause menu, because that was just for us to at least give you the option to pause and customize some things.
Right. So like, you know, we didn't want you to just like not be able to customize, because like, you know, that like, again, this revolves heavily around, you know, custom combos, and you know, I didn't want like you guys to not be able to mess around with it. You know, I don't know if any one of you guys have ever tried to mess around with it. But you know, like, that's why I also included. You know what? I should have probably just went into the tutorial room just to show off the new stuff. But yeah, you know, like, or not the tutorial, the training. So like with the training itself, I added this here specifically for people who just want to mess around with the different abilities. You know, that's just really for you to just, you know, beat the crap out of the enemy without having, just to train and not really have any like negative repercussions of like the enemy actually fighting back. You know, but like usually when you hit the enemy, you know, like they'll get stunned, and that's when you really gotta like, you know, learn how to optimize. Oh. You know, stuff like that. And like with that being said, it's like, you know, the game itself, you know, it's not really like, you know, meant to really babysit you. You know, like when I was right,
Man,
yeah,
you
like,
sound really nervous.
What with what?
Neo Hunt says, man, you sound really nervous.
Well, no, I'm just extremely tired. I haven't slept within like the last God knows how long. I actually went to a concert yesterday, and I only got like 4 hours of sleep, and yeah, I haven't slept since then.
Just calm down on your tone, my dude.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, with the abilities themselves, you know, that's why like you sometimes some of these abilities, they don't link into each other, because you actually have to space your attacks properly. You know, like with the abilities themselves, like you'll see, like, you know, from over here, the 2 hits for the dive kick won't hit. You know, but when you actually do it up close, that's when it does, like, you know, the 2 hits, and it also does, like, you know, the knockdown on the enemy, which again, when you see the enemy on the floor, that's when you actually have to like really do your best combo. I mean, granted, a lot of the enemies themselves, they're really easily handled by just by normal attacks, including with your abilities as well. So like, you know, they're if you know how to actually combo, that is, like, you know, like if you're one of those guys on YouTube that is just, you know, doing this.
Not only YouTube, I know there's a lot of other people who
there's a lot of, yes, there definitely is. Like, you know, the reason why I set the skill, like, you know, when you actually play the alpha test, you'll see that right now how I have it set up is actually the same way as how it is in the alpha test. Now, this is just a demo custom combo, you know, but it has, you know, it's very coherent with each other. You know, they link into one another. So like, you know, with that, that's like an auto combo right there, automatically. You know, but if you want to actually get fancy with it and do more damage, because remember, on the top left of the corner of the screen, you'll see that you have the energy bar. Now that, you know, if you just abuse your abilities like that, then you're gonna run out of energy. So like, you're never gonna really be able to keep comboing. Now the fundamental concept of it is that whenever you punch, you'll also gain back energy as well. You know, the second, I call this one the second shot, when it has a different animation, that's called a focus shot. Now that also does more damage. It also stuns the enemy. We're gonna probably say what?
Breathe.
Oh, sorry.
I'm telling you to breathe. Don't just rush. Breathe and speak.
There's a lot of stuff to go over. Like I'm just trying to go down the list. Yeah. So with the focus shot itself, we're gonna probably change that in the future, where you know the enemies don't get stunned, because you know obviously you could just sit there and cheese them out like that. But you know, like with that, you can really get fancy with the focus shot as well. You know, it also gains back meter, so there's really no reason not to use it. You know, like your punches as well. So like, you know, when you're actually comboing and everything like that, you really want to mix in different like punches and abilities as well, so that way you're constantly gaining back like a flow of energy, and hence why, you know, his name is Ratio, because he's, you know, power of infinity. You know, like that's basically what we based his concept and design around. And you know, like I feel like the gameplay mechanics really reflects that. You know, you're always, whenever you're attacking and using your abilities, you're losing meter, but you're also gaining it back every single time you punch. And that's why, like, you know, when you're using your abilities, also just try to mix in or cancel into your basic punches and your shots. You know, it's something like that. But like obviously it's like muscle memory. Like, you know, I've probably practiced that combo like 1,000 times to make sure it works. But you know, that's one of the combo trials actually in the trials mode. You know, if you actually look at that, you know, I put a good amount actually of the trials. Okay, that's really weird. All right, so you know, like that's just your basic one right there.
To the stage. I know a lot of people want you to play to the stage. I want to show off the boss.
I will. I'm gonna show it off. Don't worry. That I will do that. I will show you guys the correct way to fight the boss. Like
there is no actually. Let me correct you on that. There is no correct way of fighting the boss.
You're right. You're right.
There's many methods in which you can beat him, and FictionSphere itself is mostly based off of. We are based not on Mega Man X but on classic Mega Man, therefore there is many ways to approach a lot of different scenarios and situations. For instance, with the boss, we have a lot of you have a lot of freedom how you want to take him on. You can choose to stay on your ground and not approach as often, and you can choose on to like whether you want to go ahead and attack him and just drain his health bar.
Wait, should I swap out? Oh. Probably a lot of people don't even know that the ice shot is actually selectable in the demo. That which is actually when we first created it.
It's experimentation. We were or go with that. We're trying to display, like we were trying for you guys to actually go into the pause menu and like go and find all these nice little gadgets we have hidden there.
Also, if you're one of those people that actually choose to run past the enemy, that's fine, but in the future we're going to actually add an EXP bar. So if you want to get those abilities, those flashy abilities in the future, you know, like in order to upgrade, you're going to have to level up.
Yeah, also a lot of Icy Tower, yeah, a lot of the bosses were easy. A lot of people say some people say the bosses were easy, but a lot of people say otherwise. Eric, you remember the, what do you call it, the convention? The Too Many Games convention you went? Yeah, you had a lot of people that didn't know about like how to beat the boss, or had difficulties with it.
Wait, for the intro boss? Or
yes.
Well, no, actually a lot of people got stuck on the mini boss, which a lot of people also said that he was a bullet sponge, and I think I know why now, because when I was observing people playing in the Too Many Games convention, not a lot of people actually used or really aimed at the hands, which I don't know if anybody's actually tried to experiment at aiming at the hands. But you know, if you like see the animation when it blows up, that means that you did some pretty decent damage to him. We're still working on the effect for it. You know, with the hands blowing up. You know, we're probably just gonna add some cracks to visualize, like, okay, this guy, you know, like its hand is broken, so don't shoot at it anymore. So like, you know, what it is that, you know, he obviously has two hands. So like, you know, you want to aim at one hand first and then go for the other one, and then go for the head last. You know, that way you're basically gonna kill him fast. You know, it's not gonna take that long. But if you're just aiming at the head, you know, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you know, like
It's going to take a while.
It's gonna take a long time. And also, one funny thing is that a lot of people actually fell for these mines during the convention. I felt bad. I was like, wow, man, I didn't know what they thought it was, but I guess. Oh, that's right. For this debug one, I actually shortened the first part over here, so it's not gonna be as long as it was before.
We also had a lot of like criticism that the first part, like the stage was too long.
Right.
So we're trying to condense it slightly.
Right. And another thing is that if you guys want to just like be able to just figure out how the arcade shooter works, or the gallery shooter, sorry, the thing is that we actually added a couple of changes to this one too, which you can actually now jump while in the gallery shooter mode. You can actually also jump shoot. Now the same rule applies when you're on the ground. Like, you know, you obviously can't move when you're shooting, but you know, you're able to just cancel out of it and just go back to your regular jump.
They're shooting in the arcade mode.
Yes.
We work really hard to bring that to you.
Yes, you can thank Johan for that. He actually suffered.
And Tommy Case as well.
And Tommy Case, yes.
For helping with the switches.
They both died for our sins.
So we had also, here's the thing, we had a lot of also misinterpretation from how the arcade shooter worked, because as we saw most of the streams and videos online, so
wait a second.
We figured that there's...
Did I set the wrong room? I think I did. I didn't go to the area
I didn't
too.
know you could actually aim with the arcade shooter mode.
Hold up, I think I messed up. I actually put it again. This is a debug build, so let me just go ahead and get the actual game up, because hold up. I think I messed up with this one.
Yeah, like let me go as you do that. I'm just gonna still make comments on the.
Yeah. What were you saying about the gallery shooter? Like, what happened? Like, somebody got confused with it?
A lot of people didn't know you could aim inside the gallery shooter.
Oh yes, that's right. So for those of you with controllers, you can actually aim the reticle with your right thumbstick. You know, like I saw a lot of people, they were struggling with that. They were actually pressing if you're playing on a PS4 controller, they were pressing circle, and then, you know, going to the target itself, and then pressing circle again. And I was just like, huh? Like, you know, you can aim, and like they didn't know until after I told them. But like, you know, I think we'll put an animation in the future, like where it shows you, like, you know, you have to move the right thumbstick to aim, and
we actually do have the assets for it, but it hasn't been put into this build. We will probably have that before the next build is released.
Yes.
Just because I don't want people to like just come here and say, hey, what do I do here? What do I do that? I don't want this game to be like really easy, like have all the big wall of text that tells you exactly what to do, but at the same time I don't want you to just sit there and say what am I supposed to do here.
I mean, I think we conveyed it pretty okay. A lot of people they understood the concept of the game.
Yeah, but like some of the mechanics, like the small portions of mechanics that weren't really taught well, that's
true. You know, if you guys want to know, like let us know, like what do you think we could convey better to you guys? Like, you know, is there something that, you know, maybe you're missing that you probably didn't know about before? Like, this is why, like, I'm playing through the game itself, so that way, like, you can probably see, like, some of the stuff that you can actually do, you know, vs, like, you know, what you thought you couldn't do before. You know, like, again, not a lot of people knew that you can actually launch enemies off the ground, you know, holding up and punch. You know, so that's why, like, if there's something that, well, actually, I did put that into the tutorial, so if you skipped it, so that, you know, you wouldn't have known, but if there's something that, you know, that's unclear, just, you know, like, what do you think we can convey better? Just, like, you know, write it down, like, you know, or actually, I'm pretty sure the survey link is still up, so if you guys want to take that and you know, like, suggest something, that can work too.
What do you mean, Neo Hunt? Like, I made 3 clips. I don't get it.
You made what?
3 clips. I'm out of here.
Okay. Bye.
That's kind of upsetting. Like I don't understand. Like
Wait, what
what?
happened? What? 3 clips?
Someone in the chat said that they made 3 clips. That they're out of here. Also, yeah, the boss at the end does give trouble to some people.
It does give trouble to some people, yes. And I think that also part of the reason why is because a lot of people rely heavily on the air dash, which another misconception is that the air dash itself is not going to be part of the main playthrough. Like, you know, we added it there so that way, you know, you guys can just, you know, mess around with
Let me explain the air dash stuff, actually. The air dash is not it's not always a reliable source of like movement. It does give you an edge on it, but on most parts of the bosses, I've seen it being misused or downright abused on how you use it.
Like,
And when you
well,
use it,
here's the
and
thing
then
is
people
that
complain about getting hit.
right, because like someone mentioned to me that you couldn't, like, they couldn't dodge all the boss's attacks. So like I was kind of like really confused as to what they meant. You know, but all the boss's attacks are actually dodgeable. Like, you know, you just gotta choose the right dodge. You know, like I'm pretty sure. I don't know how if you guys play, like, you know, the recent update where I added in like a little after image of the enemies. So basically what that is that if you try to use an evade on that specific enemy, you're not going to be able to dodge past it. You're going to actually get knocked down. So like, you know, with that, it's also included in the tutorial now too. But you know, it's really one of those things that, like, once you see it, like, you know, that after image, that's how you know, like, okay, this attack I can't dodge. So then that's when you decide, like, you know, whether you actually jump over it, or, you know, if you have enough room to roll under, you know, you can roll under as well. It's just that as long as you're not in the direct range of that specific attack, you know. And with the boss itself, there's actually a lot of ways you can dodge it. And yes, air dash is definitely one of them. You know, I'm not completely you know, like, saying that it's not a viable dodging solution, but it definitely you know, like, again, we didn't make the boss with the intentions of, like, you know, having the air dash constantly used. It was one of those things where, you know, if some of you have played not casual mode, that's the normal mode of the game, and, you know, you don't have the air dash, you don't have the parry as well. That's another thing, is that a lot of these abilities that you know, these sub abilities that you have, these are all things that you're gonna have to unlock throughout the game. So if you're, you know, like, if you've seen, like, the parry before, like, you know, where you tap forward and, you know, you're able to negate the enemy's attacks, you know, those are gonna be power-ups that you'll gain on your journey, while also, like, you know, after you get to a specific level in the game. But, you know, like, that being said, like, you know, that's why, like, with the not casual mode, I mean, no, with the casual mode, I just put that in there so that way you guys can have a little bit of fun. You know, just experiment, like, you know, what you can actually do with the game, and you know, all the different things you can do. You know, some of you guys have.
The game's supposed to start with one skill.
One skill, yes, one skill and one buster shot ability, and you're not going to be able to. You're actually not going to be able to switch out of that, I believe. Like, you're not even going to be able to do an EX move. Like, that's going to be something that you're going to learn in the game itself as it progresses.
Do you have the... Oh, there it is.
It should be the working one now, I think. Let me just run through it real quick. Again, this is the debug build, so, like, I actually made something really quick when coming in here. I probably won't use the new abilities as well, because, you know, for the demo, it is beatable with just the abilities you have right now. I'll just use the regular one because that's what a lot of people actually stick with. Oh, I got clipped.
You what?
I got clipped by that bullet.
Oh.
So as you can see, like, you know, the EX moves themselves, they do a crap ton of damage.
Almost outright kill an enemy.
Yep. And you gain energy
by the
back.
way, did you put your your water shooter on this?
I did, actually. I spent a lot of time making that, so I hope you guys will will like it.
This is what that thing is. What hasn't gotten him to sleep.
Yes.
It's lagging a little bit.
Is it? It shouldn't be lagging.
Now I think it was your internet. Like now I really think it's the internet because now it just got back and it's like at the right point. Oh, there it is.
What's up?
You guys see at your bottom right, you can see water on the underside. Stay in one place, dang it.
Oh, you gotta remember that like the stream is a little bit behind from what it is, but they'll see it in Area 3 because I actually spent some time making that before coming in here. So yeah, now
you was replying that when you did an EX move, it was lagging. That is normal.
Oh, I see. Or, oh, hey, again, sorry about that.
Yeah, the switches are supposed to teach you that you can aim, or force you to experiment with the arcade shooter mode before moving forward. This is all a plan for what's gonna come later in the stage. It's introducing the arcade shooter mode in the gallery shooter mode in a
safe environment
that with a lot of enemies like swarming around you.
I'm just rushing to the boss at this point because I just want to show how to dodge his moves so that way people can understand.
You better try to beat him the Mega Man way.
Well, you mean without the air dash?
No, without any skill whatsoever.
Just
lemons. Yes, that is a legit strategy you can use if you learn his pattern well enough. You can just use lemons. That's what I mean by providing the player with a lot of different possibilities of attacking and going and taking on a boss or like an enemy. You can choose to play how it's possible. Not entirely how you want, but we are not forcing you to follow a required playstyle. We're giving you the tools, it's up to you to use them correctly. Eric?
Yep.
Gotta get used to speaking and playing, dude.
I suck at multitasking.
That is a lie.
I suck at multitasking.
That's a lie. What? Hey,
there we go.
Why don't you use the ice shot and the electric shot combined, like both of them?
I didn't make it to where you can actually select it onto this one. But that's because again I'm just playing like with just the basic normal stuff, so that way people see it's plausible. Oh,
again, we want to like give you a lot of experimentation going around, so
you can actually whatchamacallit, on the keyboard when you're jumping, the cursor won't move with you anymore, because I know a lot of people had an issue with that, where they were telling me that it kind of sucked because you had to re-aim over again. So that was one of the things I actually changed on the keyboard side. With the new jump shot too, it won't really affect you either.
show the freaking jump shot more often, dang it.
Alright, sure. Oh shit.
Because you're only using the classic one.
Oh, I'm just so used to it. I haven't actually like messed around with it on that level yet. I'm just so used to the actual like, huh?
Jump. Gotta time it right, my dude.
No fam. So, yeah, so this is my nice water effect that I've been working on for a while. Actually, I had some help with it, and took me a while to actually get it right.
You need to there it is. Wait on it, like actually stand near it.
Stand what? Oh no, that I put that I think later on down the thing, because you
see this water? Look at all that water, my dude.
There's too much water, man. We're gonna get a bad review from IGN.
IGN, too much water.
Too much water. Alright, so here I'll show you about like the arms and whatnot, so that way you guys can actually see for yourself. That's the general strategy that you want to use. It's just, you know, shoot his arms until it breaks. Some classic Mega Man stuff there.
In case they turn to something if you want to like show it on the screen or not, it's up to you. Use the jumping, dang it!
There we go, okay?
Would you jump?
I did.
Hey.
Okay, so that was a little bit laggy for the explosion. Did I not fix that bug?
What bug?
I can't move now.
You can't?
No. Alright, let's tortoise our way to the boss.
Now you can move. You can't? You're still stuck?
Apparently. I thought I fixed that like a while ago.
Yeah, no. It always comes back.
Alright, well, let's just walk our way to the boss. Let's make our way downtown. Oh no, I thought I added the water over here. I guess I didn't.
Yeah, but it's a bug. The bug came back.
The bugs came back. I guess I'm gonna have to die. I guess I'll die.
You just reset right before you get to the boss?
Oh, that's right. I forgot I could reset.
Reset.
Debug.
Why don't you just press reset, my dude? Get the log.
I did. I actually just reset it right now.
Okay, you got the log of the error?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it came back because of the jumping.
Probably.
Oh, look. It has buster shots, knee shots.
I should probably try to be fancy. I'm gonna parry this. Oh no, I can't parry that one.
Parry which one?
The electric style. But I could probably try to parry this one. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, almost had it.
Woohoo. You're not killing him with lemons only. What the heck, man?
Oh, you
People
want to kill him with lemons only?
Man, I told you to do it.
But that's not fun.
You're not short hopping enough, that's why. Thanks, Darkside. Lemons, look at the lemons.
I'm actually
Let
just
them
trying to. I'm just trying to parry all of his moves right now.
You
just
can
because
get
it's fun.
up to a 150 hit combo
I'm about to kill him.
using only lemons. Fail.
Hey man, I wanna parry his stuff. I gotta get the timing back down. I haven't actually like messed around with this boss in a while. Alright, we'll reset it so that way we can fight him
Oh,
again.
and Tommy's also preparing something really spicy for later.
Spicy?
Yes, spicy.
Hot and spicy.
If you can't handle spice, leave the chat.
But you see, like, I'm able to dodge all of his moves without the air dash suit. Saves meter.
Who needs the air dodge? All you need is the jumping and the shooting, actually. If you know positioning well, you don't have to Just all that.
This is what I get for trying to be fancy. Oh my gosh. I remember.
I mean, we appreciate Intel-Create's work, and yeah, we're not really like at the level of their pace too. But you gotta keep in mind that we're only an indie development team, while Intel-Create's not really one. It's an actual AAA and has its own funding. This was made with the flexible funding of $0.00.
Free 99.
And yeah, as Tommy said, they kind of are sensei. They're really a good inspiration for both our art style and our sprite style.
One day, Senpai will notice us.
Tetsuo999 says that you should add counter punish after the parry that makes the bosses vulnerable to a combo.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be adding that in the future actually with the parry. Again, the parry itself is just really purely experimental. You know, like I wanted to add that in there because again, I'm a huge fighting game fan, so I thought it was gonna be pretty neat to add something like that. But in the future, you're gonna have a lot more stuff with it, like, you know, a lot more flexibility. I did reduce like the amount of like time, like I pretty much reduced the window for it. So like you'll be able to do it a little bit easier, but again, it's still gonna take some skill, you know. But in the future, there'll be actual power-ups, like, you know, like just maybe like life steal or something like that. Or you gain back like a percentage. Right now you do gain back a percentage of your energy already when you do parry. But you know, in the future you'll probably have something like maybe like, you know, stun the boss a little bit quicker or something. You know, maybe get like an extra bonus with that. Actually, let me try to parry him because it's fun.
Versus ratio.
Say what?
Postman Masses saying Gumball versus ratio in the chat. Yeah, also I'm looking at the chat, but like at the same time I don't want to like interrupt between Eric whenever Eric.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like... Oh right. Tetsuo, we'll gladly look at the message after the stream.
Gosh.
Thanks, man.
Actually, there was a kill combo that I remember I did. Was it was very OP back then, and why I nerfed the ice shot. Actually, there used to be 4 hits for the ice shot, so I nerfed it to 2 now because, you know, 4 is just really overkill. It might return in the future when as an upgrade, but if you do, I remember if you did
the ice shot itself. So we have an idea with how there's okay, let me go back to the pause menu topic right now, because like here's the thing, we're gonna be having a lot of extra stuff in the pause menu, and one of them is actually like a skill tree or something similar to that. When you actually as you progress, you're gonna be earning skills. You're gonna be able to purchase.
Yeah, I did it.
You what?
I did it. I parried all of his hits. Well, except for the bottom one.
Okay.
But it's okay.
Like, as I was saying, we're gonna have like a skill tree that basically lets you grow. Like a ratio grows differently than, let's say, an unknown variable like an X or something of those sorts.
We'll give Ratio some more Street Fighter moves. Maybe
one moment. Hey, nice, you got the parry.
Maybe we'll add the Raging Demon for Ratio.
Oh yeah, by the way, just so everyone, if you guys have any questions about like FictionSphere right now, you guys are feel free to ask in the chat.
So with that, I hope you guys understood a little bit more about, like, you know, about how to beat the boss. I didn't really use the air dash there, you know. I really just rolled and jumped most of the time. Like when he does his spin, a lot of people tried jumping over his first spin. Now with his first spin, you'll actually have it's technically not dodgeable when he does the one below, But with the one on top, you can actually roll under him because you'll have enough space. Now it goes back to what I was saying before, is like you got to fundamentally pick the right dodging in order to really capitalize on it.
Postman Master's asking, is the score system going to have any significance with the game?
I added that there, you know, just for. Are you talking about like, you know, with the score itself, like whenever you like punch an enemy, you'll gain like 10 points or something like that? With that,
I think I can answer that a little better, but let me go on. So the scoring system is gonna be not the main focus. It's gonna, let's say you score better in one stage than the other, it's not gonna be as unforgiving as Mega Man Zeroes.
Oh, you're talking about the score for like your results, right?
Yes, results.
Results. Okay, so for the results, they will serve a purpose in the future. Actually, I do have something planned out for that. Now, yeah, like what you were saying before, Johan, is that you know, with the like Zero ranking system, in Zero, I'm pretty sure like in all the Zero games, like, you know, like that's how you gained your EX abilities, or like
yeah, but like it was kind of unforgiving from time to time whenever you just scored badly randomly, or just from.
I think the only one that was really unforgiving was 0-1. Like that was like the most unforgiving one.
Yeah.
That was super unforgiving.
That was a terrible introduction to a serious series, to be honest with you.
Hey man, they don't want you to be plebs. You gotta get good.
Yeah, but you had to farm for 0 slashes. That's not really great.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was kind of whack. That was kind of whack. But I mean, like, you know, with the story-wise, it kind of does make sense, you know, because you kind of just like.
But yeah, the score system will try to make encourage players to be better and to actually practice their combos, because again, we're probably gonna. I'm more than sure that we're going to add replayability, in which, like, let's say you didn't do as well in a certain stage, you're gonna be able to like try to revisit it and, you know, actually try to like go and do better. And the stages that you're not, they're gonna be for story purposes only, and they should not give you a disadvantage, or they shouldn't actually halt your process in the game.
Right. Oh, so I didn't explain properly before with the grab, is you actually, in order to grab, you just press forward and punch at, like, or you hold down forward. So even if you're running, you know, you could press punch, and you'll be able to grab the enemy and throw them down. Now, you know, there's a lot of follow-ups you can actually do with that too as well. You know, again, like the dash punch is like my go-to, but you know, you can obviously set it to whatever you want. You know, so, something like that. Oh, I still have the spark ball. I didn't really show that properly, did I? The spark ball itself. I actually.
No, you haven't. Can you spawn 2 more instances in that room, or go to the other?
Yeah, let me try going into the second area, and doing that closed off battle.
On the second area, and inside the room in the instance battle.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna do that, because I actually think it's pretty cool. Like, oh yeah, I can show it right here too. Oh no, that was too far. Let me hit you. Damn, you know, they were in sync. All right, so I can't really show the effect unless like they're far away from each other. So let me just go into that room, because.
Well, yeah. What are you guys' thoughts on like the bosses that we have shown so far? I think we've shown 1, 2, 3, around 4 bosses.
Oh yeah, we're gonna reveal. We're actually gonna reveal one more on the stream as well. Which this will be last of the 8 bosses, because you know, 8 seems to be the magical number. But yeah, you know, like I think
8 is the magic number when you're in India and you can only afford one playable character.
The magical number. There we go. It kind of works like that. Let me see if I can do it on the genie. No, I didn't fix the range on that yet. I gotta actually do that. Oh, Look at that. The game bugged.
The game bugged with the genie.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me go into like a training room like with that specifically because I remember I hit the or
Yeah,
I put
you
it
had
in.
a specific.
Yeah. So that way it'll better demonstrate like what it actually does. You know, it is an instant effect, but you know, I mean, it wouldn't be fun otherwise, because you know you kind of want your hits to be instant. Let me just go ahead and actually show that. Let me just go straight from the actual engine itself. All right, there we go. All right, let's try this out.
Oh, so Ninu Casa is asking, will there be scripted fights like the infamous ones when you have to lose? I'm thinking you're referring to Bio, the Mega Man X1 Bio, and as far as I'm concerned, or as far as we have planned, no, we don't want any scripted fights, right, Eric?
No, not really. I think that like really the main focus is actually figuring out like the boss's patterns. Like, you know, just classic platforming stuff, you know, like whenever
No,
you're.
not that. He's referring to like impossible bosses that you have to
Oh, you
wait
mean like
until like
you
something
just
happens.
can't kill them at all? No, I don't think there's gonna be bosses like that. I mean, why is that supposed to be fun or something? Like you can't win?
I mean, it's gonna. You remember the King battle, right? From Mega
Yeah,
Man
yeah.
base.
Oh, no,
But
I
that's
don't.
technically that's also falls into the script battle because it's like you're waiting until something happens.
That's true, but I don't think we'll have something like that actually. I think we're just gonna be telling just the story of FictionSphere, which I know a lot of people are still confused about. Which again, we're gonna reveal a lot more information within like, you know, the coming weeks. You know, when we do our next crowdfunding campaign as well, we're actually gonna reveal a lot more, and you know, we even have like, you know, some concept art for some new stages as well. You know, like you know, it's gonna be a blast. Okay, here we go. Let me just put that in there too, just to make the room look fancier. Alrighty. Don't leave the stream yet, guys. We also have something very extra special. Quote, quote.
Yes.
Extra
Something
special.
special that we're saving for last.
Yes,
Something
but first,
beautiful.
I just want to show you guys this, and then that extra special stuff will come afterwards. And I'm sure many of you will be very pleased, but we'll set some guidelines on what it means first before anybody gets super hyped up. Alrighty, let's try this. There we go. What? Oh wow! Oops, I messed up. I spawned him
Wait, what
I
happened?
spawned him into the wall.
Ah, man.
Nice. Ratio gets stuck into a wall.
You spawn inside the wall. It's beautiful.
Spawn inside the wall. What's wrong with spawning inside the wall? He can do whatever he wants.
That you made the thing kill you every single time that happens.
Yeah, there was a bug. Somebody found that. I remember it was like an infinite death bug. I've never really actually recreated it, but like or when somebody rolled into the wall. Actually, I think that's when I found that out. I was like, what the heck? It was crazy too, because like it was like a small pixel that killed you, which is actually pretty funny. Yes, that's Ratio's weakness, is that he gets killed by a pixel. One pixel.
Nah, it's not an infinite deadlock bug.
There we go. That's how it works. And you can actually, I prefer doing it on 2 enemies because it actually is pretty sick.
Yes. Oh, look, the water is there. Look at it. Look at the majestic water. Show the water.
I am showing the water. The power of water reflection. It makes the game look good.
Power of shaders, my dude.
Yes. Black magic. But yeah, you know, like I hope you guys will like that buster shot. Actually, it's pretty useful in some situations. Like a lot of the buster shots actually themselves are really crowd control. Like, you know, like that one right there is like your basic one that you start up. But you know, you can actually have a bunch of different uses for it. I think in the future too, like I wanted to add like buster shot combinations, like maybe like add like what? Oh, that's what I forgot to show.
What?
This one. Remember?
You forget I don't know what you're doing because the stream is kind of slower.
And it's perfect too because it's on water.
The water shot.
And
yes.
It's right on the water too, which is actually, that actually looks pretty cool. Like right on the water too. That reflection though. So what that is
yeah,
actually.
You guys like that new skill? It's kind of like what was it? Do you call it a buster skill or what do you call it?
I call it a sub buster skill because what it is I'm trying to have it to where, you know, at least I remember somebody suggested or asked about having like more directional inputs for your attacks, and that's when I told them, I was like, you know, we're definitely gonna have that, and this is one of those things that I actually was talking about. Is you know, the way to do it is that in the main game itself, in the actual game, again, a lot of these abilities, they're not going to be in the new demo that we're going to be posting. You know, we're still working on, like, you know, the newer area 3. You know, we're going to try to cut it a little bit short so that way it's not insanely long. And area 2 as well, actually. You know, Tommy and John and I we're working on the stage and trying to make it look good. But in the new demo itself, you know, you won't get these abilities yet. But you know, like this is just what this is basically
you
like.
Want to you think about the water one as a little snaky thing?
Yeah, I guess
I think that's the most complete one.
Yeah. So like with that is that what I had in mind was that you can actually, let's say, like, you know, let's say there's an enemy coming at you from, like, you know, the left or the right. And, you know, they're coming to attack you, of course. You know, that's what an enemy AI does. You know, you can just set up a wall.
Big FU wall.
Yeah, it's just like, no. You know, like, so like if an enemy tries to attack you, you know, your backside will be covered, and then you could just focus on another enemy. You know, these are just like, you know, strategies that you can actually use in anything really, like in the game. Like, you know, all the buster shots itself will act like sort of a crowd control kind of attack, probably except for the green shot, the 3 hits one, because that's only a single target. And now a lot of these abilities as well, like, you know, the charge shot abilities, they'll have different uses, and you know, not one of them is just going to be the best. Again, in the future, I'm probably going to add like some sort of balancing for the game, so that way you're not just completely over abusing the charge shots and, you know, the abilities, but you know, obviously not to the point where it'll cripple you to not be able to actually do damage. But yeah, you know, with that shockwave, somebody asked me if, you know, we were gonna add like directional input into it, and, you know, this is my answer, is that yeah, you know, this is a sub buster ability, so much like the EX moves themselves, like, you know, like the third final aura charge itself, you know, acts like a catalyst for the for the EX moves. So Like, with that in mind, with the buster shot, the sub buster shots, it's very much the same way. Like, you're going to be able to equip up to 2. Obviously one for your first buster shot and the second one for your second buster shot. And, you'll be able to have technically a whole move set at your disposal, to use at any time. But with that shockwave, I'm going to ask the viewers, but there's a specific game that I was super inspired off of. Can anyone like take a guess of where that move was inspired from? John, you're gonna have to watch the stream thing because I don't have the chat.
There's not a lot of activity in the chat.
That's fine, but I just wanna that's the question because it's definitely inspired. I'm sure one or two people will.
TikTok.
I'm sure one or two people will know where it's from. Or if who was it that asked me about the fighting game?
Postman Master says what guns. Who asked you about the fighting game? That's a little while back. I don't remember it.
Wait, with this move from Wild Guns? The shockwave?
Yeah. Someone's asking if it's Postman Master says if it's Wild Guns.
It's not Wild.
He was also the one who asked.
Well, the Wild Guns move itself or the Wild Guns inspiration was mostly this. Like with the gallery shooter itself. Like, that was heavily inspired by Wild Guns. But if you're talking about the Aqua Shockwave, no, that was not from that. The move itself was actually inspired by Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Ruby Hearts. With one of her special moves. I forgot what it was called. But
it's a geyser essentially.
Huh? Yeah, it's like a water geyser. And she like summons like a little shockwave below, and is able to like launch the enemies off the ground. Which it actually does act as an OTG as well, and you can actually there's a lot of uses for it. You can launch the enemy up in the air first, and then launch them again if you want. And then go into like a full combo string. Oh, okay, that works. There you go. I'm teaching you guys the future uses of each ability. Actually, even this combo itself was inspired by Under Night and Birth Eltnum. She is waifu material. Where she also has her own warning shot as well.
What else do we have to show her?
I think that's it for FictionSphere because we showed the new.
What about the other boss concept we're gonna show?
Oh yes, we're gonna show that too. In terms of like the actual game, like.
Sony Nukasa's asking how many loops before forced ball. What do you mean by how many loops before force?
Oh, you mean like how many launch how many times can you launch the enemy up into the air, right?
All right, let's count.
It's 3. It's definitely
stream.
Yes, it's 3. It might change in the future, but I felt like 3 was actually a pretty good number. With that, so I mean, if you think about it too, this also applies when you're doing any launcher type attack. So like the second ability, the crescent kick, that one, it acts like a launcher as well. So like, you can't use it infinitely. Like as you saw there, it failed. So 3 is the max, but generally speaking, the enemy should die before you use all 3 of your launchers, anyways. For the boss itself, it'll act the same way. So like, that's why you're gonna have to really get fancy with your custom combos. Huh? What?
Postman, wait until you see the phantasms to say that something looks like space pirates.
Yeah. So the thing is that I think only certain people really know about the phantasms, and I think it's only from the people who actually came and backed our last Kickstarter, like about a year and a half ago. We released some concepts for. Huh?
About a year ago.
Yeah, it was about a year ago. It was about a year ago. But you know, we released. I don't know how long you've been following the game for, but the game itself, you know, it's going to feature two different factions that you're going to be able to fight. So like these robots right now, we call them the Apostoloids. Now there's a reason for the name for that, and it has something to do with you know, the Phantasms, which is our second faction of the game, and the more alien looking creatures that you'll probably see, and like some of the bosses, actually, I'm pretty sure if you've seen some of the boss concepts, you know, they don't look robotic, and that's for a very good reason. You know, they're phantasm based bosses. So yeah, you know, you're gonna be able to fight, you know, these two factions. Obviously, like, you know, the AI is gonna get a little bit harder when you go and progress through the game, and you know, we actually wanted the phantasms to be more like, actually more aggressive. So like, you know, that's when like you're gonna be tested, you know, how well you're able to perform your combos and not drop the cheese before you know the enemies kill you. So you know, that's why, like, if you think the enemies are super easy now, just wait till a little bit later where the enemy AI will actually get a little bit smarter. You know, as you can tell, like, you know, the attacks themselves, you can get hit multiple times. You know, like with the enemies themselves, I'm gonna try to make up like a way where they work in groups, and you know, they're gonna actually try to combo you together, like, you know, as like partner pairs. But you'll see more of that, you know, once we actually reveal
You'll see
the
more about the
phantasms.
spooky phantasms. Don't worry. One of them
Yes.
is already on its way.
Yes,
A
we're
full sheet.
actually we've been actually working on some phantasm
What
creatures.
we want to show, we want to show the two factions before we do anything else.
Yes. Uh, you know, you'll definitely get the full story. I know a lot of you guys are very confused about, like, you know, what the story is, but I think more of that will be revealed like later on, and it'll become clear, like, you know, what kind of world, you know, FictionSphere really is. You know, a lot of people like to make comparisons, like, you know, to like Mega Man. It's definitely not in the same tone as any of the Mega Man games, actually. It takes on a little bit more of a twist to it. Granted, Ratio is not a robot, so, you know, yeah, I just want to clear that up. You know, regardless
We
of,
wanted to avoid the we are Mega Man ripoff cliche.
right,
Like there's already a lot of games that are trying or have tried to do that, or even claim like being successors and stuff like that. No, we're trying to branch our own different uh
game style. We're
on different style
definitely, yeah, we're
paths,
not
but we're
successors.
still following like the bare basics of game mechanics, gameplay, and difficulty of of the classic Mega Man series.
Right. So like that's why, like, you know, it's gonna be like, you know, that's why I call it a technical platformer, because you're actually, like, the technical part comes from you actually you know, doing combos and stuff like that, and, you know, obviously the platformer is where you're gonna be solving different platforming puzzles. And you know, with this game too, like, you know, I want to include some puzzles on the stages, you know, some stage gimmicks that will hopefully be fun. You know, there's a lot of crazy ideas. I want to implement it, you know, without Tommy Case and Johan, you know, killing me. So, you know, hopefully we'll see more of that later on. But yeah, you know, for the demo itself, you know, like, it's just meant to be like a preview of what we're trying to make. We're still experimenting, and I think we're gonna actually add in some. I'm not gonna say collision damage, but, you know, like, we're definitely gonna add some enemies, like, you know, that can damage you once you hit them. So that
Some
way.
some enemies do damage you when with collision damage.
Right. Yeah, no.
Currently.
What I meant was that, like, you know, we're just, you know, in general, the enemies themselves, like, maybe like they could have spikes hanging out the side of their shoulders or something like that, you know, and like
And they most likely will have a visual indication that you're not supposed to touch them in that state. For instance, you have the wall enemy, you know, the hopping one, the green big guy.
Yeah.
where whenever he's jumping, coming downwards, he has a visual cue in which it's basically telling you, get away because I'm gonna hurt you.
Right. Oh, that's
Or
another thing is that
that's what we meant it to be as. Same for some
yes.
of the dashbots, like you see on some of the dashbots, whenever you know you're gonna get impact damage. You know, that's
Actually,
essentially what.
all of the enemies that have collision damage themselves will always like show that after image. You know, like it'll show you that you can't like roll into them. You know, you actually have to really choose which evade you're gonna use. So like that also goes back to like the technical aspect of it is that you gotta. It's not really a guess because the game is gonna tell you like don't do this. Like let me see.
Again, we'll provide you with the tools, and it's up to the player. That's what, for me, Mega Man was mostly about. You are provided the tools, and you are fit to use them how you are bound to use them however you see fit.
Right. So like right here, you're gonna see the enemy itself is gonna do like a little after image, like something like that, where it expands out. I'm just gonna show it to you one. No, I'm just showing them like. No, it did do it. It's just that like I'm just showing them like what I mean by that. So like if you try to like roll into them, you're gonna receive a hard knockdown. Which actually I'm gonna bring up about the knockdowns pretty soon too, because I know a lot of people were complaining about the time that it took to get up. Which if you actually mash all the buttons, like you just mash buttons, and you'll actually reduce the time it takes for you to get up. The only reason why I left
if you have correct timing.
Oh no, that's a different. That's different. There's actually two different knockdowns. The one that I was showing was the one with the spin effect. That's the hard knockdown. So when he spins like that, there's like a little blue aura like that's spinning around him. That means that you have a hard knockdown. So you can't do an ukemi. So you can't quick get up if that if that indicates that you're getting hard knocked down. However, though, there is a different evade that you can or I mean not evade, a different knockdown that can happen if you, let's say, get hit more than like the threshold. Now I'm just gonna run through the game real quick, just like from some of the enemies, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's see, like most of the enemies will like right there, that's a hard knockdown. If you actually mash the buttons, you'll get up faster. Let me just. So like right there, that itself was a regular knockdown. So for that, you can actually recover. Once you hit the floor, you just press jump, and you'll be able to actually recover faster. However, you won't be able to get invincibility. So that's why, like sometimes it's just wiser to just choose to stay on the ground, and wait for the enemy to go away. Or if like let's say like there's like enemies on the right side who's shooting at you, but you use the Okemi, and you get hit by the bullet. Like you don't get the invincibility for that. Sometimes it's just wiser to stay on the ground and then just like take the time and the invincibility, and you'll be able to get back up, and you'll have some time to punish the enemies back. Obviously, like again, you can mash the buttons too. Like if you just get like knocked down, you're able to mash the buttons and you'll be able to get up faster. Like right there, like you kind of see that it took a little bit of time for you to actually get back up. But let me see if I can show you the difference between them. So you see, like that one, obviously I recovered a little bit faster. VS that, like that's what I mean is that like you could try messing around with the keys. Just any button works. Any button on the controller, any of the main buttons for the keyboard, and you'll be able to just recover faster from that. I think in the future, actually, I'm gonna add a little bit of an indication for it. Like maybe I'll make him shake, so that way he'll be able to like indicate that like he's gonna try to get up. So like that's probably something I'm gonna add to my list of things to do. But yeah. That's always a defensive option.
Sunny Nu Casas asking, so you can take in place, but can ratio be OTG like you can do to the enemy?
No, ratio, like right here, you'll see like the enemy cannot hit you off the ground. I mean, in the future, that may not be the case.
Enemies can't.
Huh?
I'm just gonna say enemies can't, but maybe bosses will be able to.
Right. So like, again, it really will vary. Like we're exploring all the possibilities. We don't want to try to make the game too unfair. But at the same time, it's like you're also dishing out a lot of damage to the enemies. So like we're gonna try to balance it out to where the enemies maybe some enemies will be able to do that.
Sorry for interrupting, but tell me whenever we're about to get into the spicy stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
so Atomic can know.
Okay, yeah. We're about to get to that very shortly. I'm just gonna go over the final stuff for FictionSphere. Excuse me. So yeah.
Like the boss we wanted to show.
Right, the boss we wanted to show. Itself, I wanted to review it a little bit later, but I guess we could do it now. So let me see if I could pull up the image itself. Let's close out of the game for now. Actually, I believe Tommy Case has the most recent one.
What most recent one?
The most recent, the one of the 8 bosses that we're gonna be showing. I think Tommy actually has that.
Okay. What else can we talk about?
Well, with the game itself,
expect some really nice effects too. By the way, as the game progresses, like you see all the progress they've been doing, like in a couple of months and stuff like that. We are always like, don't get this is not saying like accept for silence or anything, but it's more like we are still working on this. We just like to take our time to like deliver a lot of updates at the same time. Might not be the best approach, but we kind of like we like to surprise people in that sort of manner. If that makes any sense.
What for what? For,
which boss was it that we wanted to show?
we wanted to show this boss is actually based off of Ishihara. I hope I didn't slander that. Yes, I hope I didn't slander that. But
I think he uploaded. Yeah.
Huh?
I think we have it uploaded.
Did he?
It's on the drive, pretty sure.
Okay, so yeah, let me go check that out, because I want to show you guys this design. This is actually a Phantasm design. It's actually the last of the 8 bosses too, and the last Phantasm design as well. You're gonna see them in pixel form pretty soon, pretty shortly actually. Not today, but definitely.
I still have to work with her for.
No. I'm saying like for the bosses themselves, they'll be able to see them in pixel form and in action as well. So that will come pretty soon.
Actually, I'm not so sure about that. Pixel form they already have there.
They'll be able to see how they look pixelated, like how they look in pixels.
In game.
Right.
No, I don't think she's in the.
Because I don't think aside from this boss itself, I don't think we've shown any of the bosses in pixel form, right? Oh, okay, I got it. Alrighty, so I found it, or actually Tommy just sent it to me. He was nice enough to do that. Okay. There's actually for this boss, she's gonna have 2 forms. Let me just go ahead and show the first one, and then we'll show the second one as well. Or actually maybe we can actually just show both of them at the same time. That could probably be a lot better. Yeah, let me just get them on the same screen. Okay, so here we are. Can you guys see this?
Just remember the stream's cons though.
Yeah. Let me see if I could.
Because like I want to wait for it to actually come on screen so I can listen to the comments.
Yes. So this is her. Yeah, I know the stream is a little bit slow, but this is her.
You're not. Oh, there it is.
Yes. So she's the scorpion. She's based off of an actual. I think the what was it? It was a Middle Eastern goddess who was a scorpion, and I just found. I guess we like scorpions too, so like with that, and I kind of want to make a hidden reference to, which will actually probably appear in the game itself when the time comes, and it'll be one of those things, one of those references that if you know it, then you know it. If you don't, then you'll be able to find it later on. So that's just a hint for now.
It has to do with lightsabers.
Yes, but we'll let them figure it out. Don't spoil the secret.
I won't.
You can't spoil the secret. But yeah, with this one, she's gonna have two different forms. So she's gonna be able to actually transform into a scorpion itself, through her rib cages in the in the back, expand and go into a scorpion form. But yeah, she's again a phantasm-based one. That's why she doesn't look robotic. So if some of you guys are confused, like, how come the enemies are robotic, but this one looks nothing like the robots and whatnot? Well, again, there's two different factions, and she happens to be on the opposite one. And the story will actually be based around that, and as well as the missions too. The missions will actually be revolved around, like, fighting against the two different factions. I think how we decided to do it was that, like, you fight one side first and then you go for the other. My initial idea was to fight kind of them, like, have them mixed up, but again, we're still planning that, and the final touches are about to be made to the game. Well, not finishing touches, like, the final planning stages of the thing. Before I end, like, the FictionSphere updates, there are gonna be a few more alpha tests before we actually move on from the alpha test itself, mostly because we're still trying out new things and testing new stuff, doing different balances, and that's all gonna come from the alpha testing.
Patches, adding new stuff, like,
Right.
because I feel we're still experimenting with the arcade shooter mode because we wanna be able to completely incorporate it into the gameplay, and so far so good. We haven't gotten, like, we're being okay with it, but
Right.
we haven't got the success we wanted to have, like, to actually
I
feel
think
nice
that I don't think, like, really a lot of games have done that, like, where they had, like, the 2D, like, side-scrolling, like, platformer, but you also had, like, the perspective shooter, like, the railgun kind of like shooter perspective. And I think that that's why, like, it was very interesting to me when I thought of the idea, because, like, how cool would it be to, like, be able to fight, like, on all sides of the screen, minus obviously this is where you're actually looking at, like, and from. So I think that's something new that hasn't been done yet, and we're treading on just new territory, really. Alrighty, so that
the Tommy case already. Do you receive the message from Tommy?
I think so. Oh, yes. Okay. So before we do anything, all right? Now, the reason why I told you guys to say stay till the end of the stream is because we do have something special planned as well. It's a very old project, and I'm pretty sure some of you are very familiar with it already. Now, before I continue, all right, this does not mean that we're off we're off hiatus. Okay, this does not mean that ZXG is going to be updated or anything like that. I just completely did this out of whatever spare time I had left.
Whatever spare time we had left, because there's a lot of other stuff that has been updated with, let's say, sprite-wise, and I've been showing some updates with DeviantArt, and if you follow, if you have me, if you're around the same Discord servers I am, you probably have seen them before.
Right.
But
So
yeah, so
we're gonna
Eric?
be yes. So before I get into it, all right. Again, we're not off hiatus, but this is something that I done out of my spare time. So I wanted to share it
And
with you
Tommy
guys.
has also done out of his spare time.
Right. Tommy has also done out of his spare time, and he's helped me out, and we were I think I developed like just again I reprogrammed the entire ZXG engine from ground up. So this time I'm confident that it should play a little bit more like towards like the Game Boy Advance and the Zero style ones.
We are running on placeholder sprites for now, but like the sprites for at least one model are completely done.
Right. So
Like I could say they are finalized.
yes. They are in progress. So without further ado, I will show you what we've gotten done, and hope you'll like it. Let's see. I had it. Let me run it up.
Just put up the old 86 architecture. Nothing.
Alrighty. So again, very placeholder sprites. Let me put it onto the stream so that way.
Here as a placeholder because it's the best placeholder there is.
Yes. Well, I mean that, and because like it was just to get the accurate game flow of it. So like before it was really a lot of guessing, but like when I actually went back and played it,
Eric, is this recording also being posted on? It's gonna be posted on YouTube.
Yeah, it's gonna be posted on YouTube for sure. It's definitely. We're gonna do what we did with with like how we did ZXG last time.
Also, yeah, I'd like to point out who comments, who writes the comments in the stream chat, because I don't know, just feel like if you have an idea or like a question, I'll have to like actually like tell you. By the way, Icy Tower asked that.
Well, asked what?
He asked about the stream on YouTube, so for people who missed it.
Oh yeah. It's gonna get up there. I think I'm just gonna pick out the best one out of how many streams that we've attempted to do. Again, I remember that we did do ZXG a while ago in stream. Hold on, I'm setting up the thing right now so that way you guys can actually see the screen.
No, but yeah, like as I was saying, I like to actually give credit to whoever's like actually saying words and stuff. Like I don't, at least when it comes to CXG, I was trying to not use as many as many recycled assets as possible. So that's why it was taking us so long to actually, and that's why it takes us so much to actually put effort or like to actually making the progress on it, regarding to level wise, because I don't want to use the same. We don't want to use the same tiles that were already present in the CX games, because this takes place in a different time, and if you look at things like that, then it will look kind of different. Well,
you're talking about the sprites itself, right?
Yeah, the sprite tiles and everything. Like I don't agree with you reusing stuff from older games at all.
Right.
I think if you're making a fan game, you should try as much to do your own scratch stuff as much as possible. Otherwise, then you're just basically repackaging something that's already existing.
Right. So with with this, we actually with ZXG, like why it's really hard to actually put up a lot of updates is because we're also creating a lot of our own assets from scratch. We're like, if some of you guys have been following us since the original ZXG game, you'll know that a lot of those. What happened?
Had a lot of bugs.
Right, but like that, yes, I can agree with, and at that time I will say that I actually made the original engine in like in Game Maker, I think 8. So
yeah,
like
the original
that,
engine you made it in Game Maker 8, and then we ported it
I
to
tried,
Visual
right.
Studio, and
I tried
yeah.
porting it over to Studio, and that didn't work out too well. It broke a lot of things, and that's why, like, with that, I eventually was like, all right, let me just scrap it and do it from ground up, because like it's better to just do it with something that you're familiar with. And okay, there we go. Now it works. So
Alright, move around.
with this, I think I'll put it up eventually. Like you'll
Once
be able
we
to
get
actually.
the sprites for, at least I want to have Model C fixed and Model X fixed as well
Mm-hmm.
before
Well, you'll
we
be.
do anything.
I think I'll probably put this up later on in the future, like where you could just mess around with it, and see for yourself like how accurate it is. Now it's just a demo room here, so this is all you're really gonna get. But there are a couple of enemies that you can actually mess around with. Obviously, like you see, we add a couple of new effects for the enemy deaths.
Oh, by the way, if you notice, the dash trail has been fixed, and
Oh,
now it
yes.
resembles the stuff from the Mega Man Zero game.
Yes, so I don't like the ZX dash trail. Like I already told you guys that I absolutely dislike the dash trail from ZX. I've always liked the Zero dash trail because of how cool it really looked. The fade out effect itself is just a personal taste. I just think that it made more sense to have it fade out. Well, actually, Tommy suggested that to me, and I was just like, huh, that's actually a pretty good idea. But yeah, with this,
That's the dash trail.
yes, and you actually, I believe in this one too, you can actually test for yourself the official, like, recolors in the dash trail, like following with it. Yay for recolors. Yeah, I think I did all of them actually.
There's some other recolor stuff, and like how we have basically most of the engine like already set up for whatever sprites come into their way.
Yeah. So like, but like this is just we're not gonna be keeping the Zero sprites. I only put it there as just an.
This
I'm sorry,
placeholder,
what?
and for us to be able, huh?
No, oh no, continue what you're saying.
This placeholder is just for like for us to test the new features that we have added to the engine, the newly made engine.
Yes. That's basically really it. So we wanted to test like how well it emulated, so to speak, because I know like a lot of people really had problems with the old one, which again, porting it from Game Maker 8, it definitely changed some stuff, and a lot of stuff didn't work
that's
anymore.
an invisible wall, by the way. Don't get scared. Not
Say
at all.
what?
It's an invisible wall. The stuff you were showing.
Oh, this over here?
Whenever
Yeah,
you
that's
go
just an
walking in the
invisible wall. Actually this is the debug room from I believe from the DS, which I took careful time and consideration to just really look at how well each movement is. And later on, again, you're going to be able to probably just test this out. I even included a little old boss that you can fight. You'll probably like some of the effects. But right now there's no death, but we're gonna beat him in purple. But yes, you can actually fight this boss, and just like to test out how well he works. So it's a little bit different from ZX, where I think you can do like the charge shot into the charge slash. So like in this one you can't do it. I try to emulate the zero damages as possible, because I felt like that was more challenging than rather like linking it. But I think that later on in the future, Model Z will have something similar, like where you can combo your slashes or something.
By the way, also popular opinion, do you want Model C to have a buster or should it only be a sword?
Wait, for Model Z?
I'm asking our viewers right now.
They haven't seen this yet, so this is another cool effect that I added for the boss deaths. There's yes, you can actually there's two. Obviously, if you play ZX Advent, you'll know that you actually have 2 ways to kill a boss with the boss death. That was the slash, but it also worked with the buster. So let me just go ahead and just kill him real quick, just to show you the buster one. Oh, that's something I did add though. It's the double buster and then into the slash.
Man, you're not dodging anything.
No, because I don't really have depth, so I'm just like, whatever. I'll probably add it in later on, so that way people can mess around with it.
This is the Mega Man. This is the surprise. Savior. I think we just got in here. Yeah, this isn't FictionSphere. This is the Mega Man ZXG project we were doing. This is the engine. These are just placeholder sprites.
Yes. So again, expect all these assets to be actually switched out. Probably everything except for the HP bar. Well, no, maybe the HP bar will get a revamp as well. But you're gonna be able to actually, again, like just suss it out. Like with this warning too. This is kind of like a work in progress. Since I had like the little typing effect for when the warning pops up, I wanted to have like at least like a computer screen kind of visualization.
Oh, don't worry, Savior. We're gonna be uploading the stuff in YouTube, so that way you can catch up. If you have any questions about it, go ahead. Like, we're still here.
I also noticed that I added like the little buster hit effects too. From like it kind of emulates like the X games where when you hit an enemy and whatnot. But I personally like the buster shot death only because it blows off his arm. Well, anyways, yeah. So hopefully this will be something that our longtime fans will be looking forward to when we get back into it. Again, FictionSphere takes priority. Like ZXG, I haven't had a lot of time anymore to really mess around with it and do much. But this is just again something I did like within I think a few hours. When I was
a couple of days actually.
Well, I'm talking about like accumulated. It was like a couple of days. Yeah. But like accumulated, it was really like a few hours, because like I worked on it like about I think like an hour and a half or something, something like that each day.
Also, we do have a lot enemies wise. We have some stuff we still have to show.
For what, for ZXG?
Yeah, we sprite wise we have them finished.
Oh yes, that's right.
Remember
we do have
enemies.
Yes, we do have a lot of enemies for that.
Here, but if anyone knows him, say, hey, thanks for the enemies. Well,
yeah,
we'll give credit. We'll give according credit for him for making the enemies.
Right. He actually made the Yellow Devil, didn't he?
Devil last time, huh?
He made the Yellow Devil, right?
Yes,
for the Alpha Test 3. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, like we're gonna have a bunch of stuff later on too. Like if things get better and things go well, I think that ZXG can make a return. That's why, like, when I see people writing that ZXG is dead, it's not dead. We just don't have a lot of time to really work on it. Like FictionSphere is a passion project, and it's eventually what I want to do. For the rest of my life is to make video games, and ZXG will always be, will always have a place in my heart, and it will always be. It'll always pop up in my mind. Like I always think about it from time to time. Like, hey, we could have had this or that. We're actually going to be changing a lot of stuff too. Say what?
Or we can fix this. Ha 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 ha
Yeah,
ha.
we could fix this. Yeah, actually a lot of changes. I think that you and I and Tommy discussed about what we should do for some of the models, right? I think we discussed
Yeah.
about mostly with
So,
model.
okay, let me go in depth a little bit with that. So, I was trying to expand on making models play more like their particular characters instead of just playing like a variation of like, let's say Model F is just like Model X just can shoot while walking and you have directional shots and stuff on the fire element. Make it so you're able to do like different button combinations.
That
Because
or
it's
like,
like I feel it's unfair for Model C to be the only one with button combinations, right?
well, well, yeah, that's true. Like,
I want people to be able to play the game as in like, oh, I'm playing as Model F, and like
I think that one of the
be able to beat the game with Model F without feeling it's like a without feeling like either the game's too easy on one side or the game's too hard on the other.
right, like I think one of the things about this EX series in general was that you relied heavily on one model, and I think they try to fix that in ZX Advent, and it didn't work out too well. I want to say.
A trans.
Yeah, it didn't work out too well because like at the end of the day, it's like what was it, like a different model and whatnot, you're gonna switch back to Model ZX. Like that's what
Yeah,
everybody
like
does.
it wasn't Model CX was downright overpowered in that game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is that like no matter what you do, like to try to balance it out, people are gonna just play Model ZX. That's why like I want to remove the Buster itself
We might
for
remove the Buster itself from Model C.
yeah,
'Cause,
Model
right
Z.
now
Well,
it serves almost no point.
yeah, I think for Model Z, I think what we're gonna do actually is probably just
Did the
give
Buster charge get bugged?
yeah for the charge. Yeah, again, this is just a debug thing. So I haven't had a lot of time to really
Oh,
mess
by the
around with the
way,
innards.
Sony Nukasa is asking when is FictionSphere plan to be released?
Uh,
And also, is the plans to be released on anything besides PC, and where can you find us besides Facebook? Well, Sony Casa, you can find us on our Discord server, and
wait,
we have our team, our HIO page.
wait, are you? So he's asking if this is gonna be, or if FictionSphere is gonna be released on any other platforms, right?
Huh?
He's
Which
asking if it's gonna
platform? When
be.
is it gonna be released, and which platforms is it gonna have?
Well, for the release date, it's really to be announced. Like,
Soon.
yeah,
In a
coming
sec,
soon.
like you say.
In a sec, yeah. No, I really don't really have like a specific set on date. It really also
It all
depends on.
depends how things go on something with
Right.
my. You want to tease it right now or what not?
For what?
Or what the hell?
Well,
Tease. You know what I'm talking about.
what, the crowdfunding?
Yeah, that.
Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of the viewers already know that we're gonna be looking for crowdfunding to finish FictionSphere. We're planning for FictionSphere to be actually released on the Switch. Like everybody's been asking that since day one. Like is this gonna be released on Switch? Or any Nintendo console? And
Well, Game Maker 2 is
right.
Switch compatible.
It's gonna have the Switch module, which again it also costs money. I think like a 1,500 for the actual module. I don't know the prices. Last time I checked,
I
it's
believe so, but yeah, the development is gonna have to come soon after our next
right,
crowdfunding, and it will really depend on whether we get crowdfunding or not, honestly.
right. That so like I would say after the crowdfunding period, if things do go well, like we're gonna try to work as fast as we can. So some like probably like I'll say like a year, maybe a year and a half at most. It
I'd
depends
say
on.
around 2 years after the crowdfunding.
Right. That also depends
But
on.
it will be with a lot of active updates and let's say
That will also
beta
depend
test
as
inside
well. Like,
inside.
well,
Huh?
again, that also depends as well. Like, for you know, for the crowdfunding itself is its whole purpose is to be able to get the funds needed to you know, buy the necessary equipment to make the game first and foremost, and then be able to help bring on new talent to the team to be able to help finish, you know, the rest of the game. You know, I don't know if like some of you guys met me out in Philadelphia, but like, you know, like I said, I'm the only programmer on the team.
Postman said he met you at the, what do you call it?
At Too Many Games, right?
Yeah, Too Many Games.
Right. So
He
like
said
at
he
Too Many
started following
Games,
after Too Many Games.
huh? What did he say?
But yeah, did we forget to post the stream URL on Twitter?
I think we did.
What rep?
It's all good though, because again, it's going to be posted on YouTube, and I think that, you know, like a lot of people will be able to see it on YouTube as well. But overall, that's the most, like, you know, that's the best answer I can give you in terms of like when it's going to be released. And I know, again, Switch is number one. It's definitely on the top of my list. Next would probably be PlayStation and maybe Xbox. I heard that Xbox is not really like a good place to put your indie games, but you know, Sony definitely.
It depends if Microsoft wants to be peaceful with us.
That too, yeah. But I heard that they've gotten pretty chill with indie developers, and you know,
both games are now running on Game Maker Studio version 1.
Wait, for what?
For ZXG, current ZXG engine and
FictionSphere?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're on Game Maker Studio 1.4. So like that's like, it's like a very I mean everything has been switched over to Game Maker Studio 2 development now, which, you know, I know a lot of people has had problems too with the, like, you know, with the game running on Windows 10. Now, like, you know, again, the reason for that is because Game Maker Studio 1.4 uses DirectX 9, and I think I explained it to somebody in the bug channel. But there is a download link that can actually help you in case any problems go wrong, or you can actually just come to the bugs channel in our Discord and just, you know, give us a message and we'll help you. But yeah, there we go. And Mac and Linux also is going to be something on our list as well.
But mostly, once we get down to the Linux version, the Mac version should come down afterwards. And we have some people play the game on Wine.
On Wine, yeah, it was
surprisingly, it works really, really well on it.
I was very surprised too, actually. I didn't
major drawbacks, honestly, from what I've heard.
Yeah, it worked. It worked out well. Somebody actually commented on the Facebook page saying, and like he actually recorded the video of the game, and it ran smooth. It was like, I think like 60 FPS with no drops, and you know, he didn't have any problems with it either. Like, it ran as if it was on Windows. So for you Mac users, if you're wanting to play the game, if you want to play FictionSphere or ZXG in the future, if you guys are using Mac, just I guess it's something called Wine. I've never heard of it, never used it, but apparently it works. So
a Windows interpreter that for Mac to translate the operations from Windows to Mac.
Yeah, so you'll be able to.
That's a dumb terminology I could use.
You'll be able to play it. Let's just put it that way. And hopefully, you know, it shouldn't change anything either. If it works on Wine right now, I think that in the future too, even if we don't do like a Mac support, I'm pretty sure it'll work on Wine regardless. Because if it works now, then it should work also in the future. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think
How
that
long
actually.
have we been streaming now?
I think a good. I don't even remember.
Was it longer then? Because we started at 12:30 my time.
No, it's like 2 hours. So yeah, that was a pretty. I mean, that was what I was expecting too, for like to reveal all the updates. Yeah, you know, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them by. You know, we're on Discord as well.
Discord server. We'll leave the what do you call it? The link on the Discord server in the chat.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, like, you know, come join the community. You know, like and come chill out with us, because we're
gonna be opening for all Spanish speakers. I'm gonna be opening chat, general chat in Spanish as well.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, that'll be pretty cool. I think. Let's see. I want to say like for the crowdfunding, we're gonna try to do it. I want to say we're gonna try to do it soon. Like there's a couple of stuff that I wanna actually work on and show. Like these are just the things that we've been working on for the last couple of weeks. Minus the stages. Like right now we're actually gonna be revamping again for FictionSphere. We're gonna be revamping the part 3 of the stage. So if you guys might have a little bit of a different experience, that's for sure, because I'm gonna be moving a lot of stuff around and
Surprises, plentiful of them. Good, plentiful surprises.
yes, there will be some new stuff that you guys can try out, and yeah, and definitely if you guys want to give the demo a try, we can leave the Game Jolt and itch.io links also in the chat, and you guys can try out the new stuff that you've seen, or if you already have it, definitely try out some new combos. Alrighty, well, I think that wraps it up actually. I think yeah, we revealed mostly. Yeah. Anyways. Thank you guys again for joining the streams. I know that there was a couple of hiccups in the beginning, as well as the stream quality.
The replay, don't worry.
Yeah, we're gonna I'm gonna actually have to dive deeper into the streaming world and see how to fix these problems. When we were streaming ZXG way back when, like about 2 years ago, it didn't give me any problems. So I'm gonna see if I change any settings, and hopefully the next time we meet, it'll be crisp and clean. Yeah. All right, well, take it easy, guys.
Peace.